Hannah.
Hi. How's your week?
I'm barely hanging on by a thread as usual, but I wanted to talk to you specifically about an incident that happened
Yikes.
because we spoke a couple weeks ago and you said that you have a mouth guard. What you didn't tell me was what it's like to get fitted for a fucking mouth guard, dude. Because I had my dentist appointment, and first of all, like, these people need to be learning about consent. Like, the way you sit in the chair and they literally just stick their hands in your mouth, I'm like, I feel like this is, like, not legal, what you're doing to me. Like, the way, I don't know, I just get so uncomfortable with the dentist because I feel like they just, like, do not give a fuck about asking if you're okay with anything. Maybe it's like the person I had that day or whatever, but you know, they're already like sticking their hands in my mouth and doing all kinds of things, and I'm like sitting there feeling violated. And then they tell me that I need a mouth guard, and I'm like, sure I do. Like, you know, everyone needs a mouth guard, right?
Yeah.
And then like a couple minutes later, the technician comes back and they stick what looks like a giant dildo in my mouth without any warning. And they just stick it in there, and it's in there for so long. Like, they are like, you know, travasing every single tooth and like making sure to cover every surface of my mouth. And I'm just in disbelief that they put this thing in my mouth without telling me, and like just like getting angrier and angrier as time goes on. And they keep having to like redo things because they're messing it up. And I just was like sitting there feeling like I can't believe that this isn't like people aren't talking about this, that this is like part of getting a mouth guard, because I feel like everyone has one and I've never heard how horrible it is to get fitted for one. So I just, you know, I can't believe you didn't tell me that when you told me that you had a mouth guard.
I feel so bad for you, number one. Number two, I don't have I have a very strong gag reflex, okay? So I don't like it when things are like getting near the back of my throat at all, especially at the dentist. And a lot of times when you have to do things like a mouth guard or anything like that, like one time it wasn't a mouth guard, but it was like the whitening trays that you get like custom fitted for your teeth or whatever. And I had to like hold that like mold in my mouth, and the whole time I'm sitting there being like, do not throw up on the dentist right now. Like, do not throw up on that dentist. And
that would teach them a lesson, though.
Yeah, but I agree. It is jarring. You do need to go to a new dentist though.
Does your dentist ask for consent?
I have the best dentist in the entire world. I have referred minimum 15 people to this dentist, and I get a gift card every time I refer someone.
Wow, that's service right there.
I go to Bling Dental in the Pearl District. I picked them because they looked cute at first, okay? Bling Dental is it's you. You walk in, the whole thing is diamond encrusted. It is like the most fancy looking, like the receptionists are just like so cute and welcoming. Everyone is so sweet there. Like they have a bunch of women dentists, which we love. The hygienists wear like Lululemon zip jackets, like
like as a uniform.
Yes, like that's like, like they change it every year, but they're like they have their branding really figured out.
Yeah. And
there's TVs in the ceiling. You just watch TV the whole time you get your teeth done.
Yeah. It sounds expensive for sure.
I mean, it's dental insurance. Like you don't pay like there's no difference. They actually one time when I got fitted for that mouth guard, they quoted me something, but it wasn't covered by my insurance, and I complained because I am such a loyal client and I have referred so many people, and they covered it for me.
Wow.
So I will never go anywhere else.
Okay, I'm gonna check out Bling Dental. Maybe they'll sponsor us.
Yeah. God, I'll reach out. That'd be my dream.
But you've been moving.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Listen, I moved units in our building. So a relatively easy move compared to like fully moving somewhere else, you know? But moving with a toddler it's just completely different. Like moving with a toddler, trying to clean the old place, it is not the same as moving as a single person. And the last time we moved, she had just started crawling. So like that was hard, but like just different. It's like I'm packing a box, she's unpacking a box. Like she thinks it's a game that I'm packing the box, and then it's like I'm trying to clean the bathroom and she's like, let me grab the scrubbing bubbles, and I'm like, absolutely not, don't grab this. And I have not been well. Yeah, it's just been like every waking moment I'm either packing, unpacking, cleaning the old place, or editing photos, and that's it. It's just a different combination of that constantly every day.
We're just living for a Christmas break at this point.
Literally. And then right now it's like I'm trying to prioritize cleaning the old place because like that lease is about to be up. But then in my current house, it's like we're getting it in order, but it's still like, you know, there's just still like, oh, that pile over there that like we have to do something with, or it's like I have a dresser I'm trying to sell an offer up, and it's like all these little things you're just like,
I hate selling things is the worst.
it's the worst.
There's nothing worse
Yeah.
than getting 100 messages. Is this still available?
Do you need a dresser? I have one.
The studio needs one.
Does
So
it?
let's talk later.
Okay, all right. Anyway, it's not fun, but I do like our new place, but it's a lot, dude. Thankfully, Gavin's parents are coming this weekend. They're gonna just like hang out at our place, watch her for a couple hours so we can just go clean, because it's a mess.
Good.
But okay, more importantly, I need to talk to you about the spicy book journey. Have you still been going down this journey?
Yeah, I have a spicy book that I've been reading like here and there. It's like really, it's like these people are having sex on every page. It's the most like sexual activity I've ever read in a spicy book.
Wait, what is it?
It's called Does It Hurt?
Okay.
And it's like they're sort of like stranded on a desert island, so it's like I guess there's not much else to do, but
Love.
it's like much less plot than most of the books I've read.
Okay.
And I'm not like, I feel like I need more of like a balance.
Okay,
You know?
I'm having the opposite problem where I'm reading these books that are way too much plot, and it's like I am getting 75% of the way through the book before one sex scene happens.
Oh, that's too much.
And it's like
yeah.
there's some hot makeouts before that. There's some like teasing. There's just a lot of teasing, and it's like I didn't realize that there could be too much teasing for me, and because I like that usually, like I'm down with it, but like something needs to happen, and I think in my ideal world, 35 to 40% through the book, we need to be doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
That should be like a category when you look up the book on like Goodreads or something, like what percentage of the book does the spice occur, so that you can you can pick the one that is like calibrated to you.
I like that. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, there's been early spice, but it's like quick little spice and then it's going away, and I need more. I need more spice than what's happening right now. And like the plot's good, but it's like also it's like you understand what their problems are that they're having, and then like they're finding out the problems in each other and like helping each other deal with these like parts of themselves or whatever. But it's like I can only hear you say this so much about yourself before it's like I understand this is your trauma, like let's move past it, like we have healed, we need to start having sex
we
now.
need to heal and have sex.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's good that we're learning about ourselves through this spicy book journey.
Yeah, I think I need to start reading your book though, because that sounds a lot spicier than mine.
Yeah, the spice happens very early on in this book and then never stops.
Yeah, I was reading, I think I told you about that one book, the Dirty Girl book or whatever. That one had a lot of spice in it, and then I started reading the second book, and it also had a lot of the spice was good in that book, but the plot was really losing me, and I was like, I can't with this. I literally stopped listening to it at one point because I'm like, these people are just pissing me off as people. Like their sex is great. I could keep listening for just the sex, but it wasn't Dipsy, so we had to move on.
Yeah, there's so many things that have to like line up for it to be a good book.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Also, okay, the one I'm reading right now. So it is good. Like I wish there was more spice early on, but like the book itself is good. It's it's called. Hold on. What is it called? It's called Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. And
that name sounds really familiar.
Tessa Bailey is like a spicy book novelist that she writes really good sex scenes, but I'm starting to see her pattern of like there's just a lot of build up before we get to the sex. So she, and this one it's like they basically have gotten married because she needed to get married to have access to her funds through her trust fund. Like she needs to be married, and like they're enemies, but then they're going to help each other out because he also needs like this,
classic.
Whatever. And then they fall in love, obviously. However, at their wedding, he has a pet cat. And when she went over to his house, he had a cat at his house. And he's like, I started to realize while reading this, I'm like, a guy having a pet, like a single guy having a pet cat is really hot.
Yeah,
like that is hot, right?
Yeah.
And so he had this pet cat, and he's like talks about his cat in the beginning, and then at the wedding he brought his cat. He brought his cat to the wedding, and the cat was there, and the cat was like chilling, and then they were like in the car coming back after the wedding. The cat's curled up in his lap, and I'm like, this would never happen with a real cat, but I love this. Like in my mind, I'm like, maybe Gosha would be so chill, but like. This is amazing that he's just bringing his cat around like someone brings a dog, and the cat just came to the wedding.
Wow. Like
what I did is I had my photographer take one photo of Gavin and I with some space left to the side, and then I photoshopped Zeus into it with a bow tie on him.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I love that photo.
Wow. I need to try and do that.
You should.
Because I don't have enough editing to do right now. I need to give myself another project.
But this is a fun editing project,
Yeah.
you know? Like putting a little bow tie on Gosha.
Yeah.
Putting him next to you.
When we eloped, actually, my friend who was cat sitting him did put a bow on Gosha and like dressed him up the day of our elopement so that he could be celebrating from afar.
That's really cute.
Yeah, it was really cute.
I love that.
Okay, should we talk about our sponsor now?
Let's talk about our sponsor. Okay. Let's talk about insurance.
Let's talk about it.
Because something else happened this last week, actually, that I was like, you know what? Bethan would not do this to somebody. My dad, this is really messed up. My dad lives in like a triplex condo situation, and he has the middle triplex. And 3 times he has had water damage happen to his condo because of one of the other 2 people on either side of him. Like something happened over there and it leaked into his unit. His insurance just dropped him. Because they're like, you've had water damage 3 times. And he's like, it's not my fault. Like, it's literally my neighbors. And whatever issues, like, had happened with the neighbors, like, those issues had gotten fixed with whatever thing. So it's like, it can't be, like, repeated.
Yeah.
But they have dropped him. And I was like, Bethan would never do this to somebody.
No, Bethan would not.
Bethan is here for the girlies. And also, Bethan got back to us, and you can insure your body. It's called disability insurance, and I think I need to buy it immediately.
You do, yeah. We also learned that if you get injured at your workplace, and you have insurance for the business, that could potentially be covered too if you're the business owner, depending on the injury and how it happened. But there's a lot of things that are covered by these policies that you may not know about, just because like nobody knows what is covered and nobody has like these conversations. But if you guys have questions about the things that your policies cover, Bethan is here to answer.
Bethan has answered a lot of our questions this last week, so thank you, Bethan. We love you.
Yeah, we love Bethan. Bethan offers
So Bethan offers home, auto, life, and business insurance. So she's really going to cover the bases.
She has licenses in Oregon, Idaho, Washington, and Alabama. And as a small business owner and a gay woman in a male-dominant field, it's really important to her to target women-owned and LGBTQ plus businesses and households. So she is here. She's here to help us out.
Thank God. We need more of her because we all need to be educated about insurance. Clearly, we've learned so much in the last 4 weeks about insurance. Like, I'm a little embarrassed of how little I knew 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Relative to now.
Me too.
Thanks, Bethan.
The link to book a consultation with Bethan will be in this episode description. It's doesn't cost anything. You can just have a meeting and chat and ask questions. You can get all kinds of things insured. Allison has her camera equipment insured with Bethan. So yeah, Posse, go get insured through Bethan.
Okay, with that, let's welcome our guest.
Welcome, Sydney.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So Sydney is one of my pole instructors from the Pole Palace. Is that okay to say where you teach?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I first took your class, I don't even know how long ago, probably almost 2 years ago. And I just remember being like, so like hypnotized when you were teaching a combos class because you're such a good dancer and you're also so cool. And so when you told me that you were interested in doing a shoot, I was like, oh my God, I was so flattered.
She immediately came to the studio and told all of us
I did. Yeah.
She did.
So I just want you to know that, just like to gas you up a little bit before we get into it.
I would like you to know that I would literally die to do a shoot with
Oh
you.
my God.
Are you kidding me?
Let's just
Wow.
compliment each other all night, okay?
Yeah, let's just sit here and do this all night.
I would do literally anything.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
One thing I'm going to say about Taylor's pole journey, I've gotten to watch it from the sidelines, which has been super fun, but we've had so many clients that have come in and been like, I started taking pole because of Taylor and all the things that she's posted, and I feel like a lot of them have been like, oh yeah, I did go to Pole Palace and I loved it, and have said amazing things about it.
It's such a good studio. I mean, we were just talking before this about how they have more classes than any other studio in town.
Yeah, it's great. They have 3 spaces dedicated to pole classes. So on any given night, each of those spaces will hold 2 different classes. So it's like up to 6 classes a night. And then sometimes they have daytime classes as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. And that's also so cool because, I don't know, do you ever get this? You probably maybe have unlearned this by now, but I definitely have moments where, like, when I post my pole videos, I have, like, this hesitation of, like, everybody thinks I'm, like, attention seeking, or people, like, I don't know. I just, like, sometimes I hesitate and I, like, force myself to do it anyway because I'm, like, you know, this is, like, I want to be the type of person who posts these videos, and I'm proud of, like, how far I've come and what I've learned, whatever. But knowing that people are seeing that and wanting to go to pole makes me feel really good.
I have clients talk about it all the time at my sessions.
Wow.
They talk about your pole videos all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, you're doing the Lord's work with your pole videos.
Wow. I mean, I don't know about that, but thank you. I think Sydney's doing the Lord's work teaching pole and empowering people to, you know, like love their bodies and try things, because it is really scary, I think, for a lot of people to like try pole.
It is. I will say this, like every time somebody finds out that I pole dance, I immediately get the, oh my God, I've always wanted to do that. And then we have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, okay, why haven't you? And I always get that same response, like literally always, oh, I just don't have any upper body strength.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't have this, I don't have that. And it just like, I get why people feel that way. I think that we see things on like Instagram and stuff and we're like, oh my God, I could never do that. But the reality of it is like we all start from square one, and you never hear people be like, I'd love to go to the gym, but I don't have any upper body strength.
Yeah.
Or like, I really want to go to yoga, but I'm not flexible. It's like you go there to get those things, and the beginner pole classes are made for absolute beginners. Like,
Yeah.
you're not expected to have any strength going into it. You're not supposed to, right? So.
And they like ease into it like so slowly.
Yeah.
Like you build up to it, and I feel like every time I go to class, I see like all different body shapes, and it's not like, it's less intimidating actually than the gym, I think. Because
I think so too.
you have someone walking you through what to do, and like everybody's so welcoming and nice, and it's like feels more like a community and less like, all right, got to go fight for my spot between all the bros at the gym.
Yeah, it's so true, especially at the Pole Palace, like our sense of community is like absolutely amazing. And at least I haven't worked at a lot of other studios, so I can't speak for them, but the Pole Palace is known for taking things like pretty slow with people. So, I mean, people can move faster if they want, but beginner for like as long as you want.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's like you're never going to be pushed to go into like levels that you don't want to be at. You can stay at level 1 as long as you want. And there's plenty of other classes besides just pole tricks. Like we were talking about the dance classes earlier. So, yeah, it's just like, I get that it's scary, it's intimidating when we see people that can do these really amazing, beautiful things, but just do it. You'll get there and it'll be so much fun, and you'll be like, I can't believe I went so long putting this off.
Yeah. I also had someone tell me once that they were afraid of going to pole because they were like, they had this idea in their mind that it was going to be like being in the locker room in high school, and they were like, I just envision all these hot girls in their high heels and like, you know, they all look like these like gorgeous strippers, and I'm just going to be like so awkward. And I feel like that is not the vibe at all. Like
No.
everybody is like a regular person.
Yes.
And like even the people who are like strippers and professionals are still also regular people,
They
you know?
definitely are, yeah. Yeah, it's always so fun. Like, one of my favorite questions, and not everybody wants to answer this, but sometimes at the beginning of my class, I'm like, what do you do for work? Because I think that it's so fun sometimes to go around and be like, I'm a lawyer. And I'm like, and it's just like, you get, like, it's just like, it's, people come here and they're all like, we're all the same at the studio, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
That reminds me of our job. 'Cause
Yeah,
we have all
totally.
walks of life that come in to do their photo shoots, and like, yeah, we have people who are, doctors, lawyers, like
Yeah.
they don't want their photos posted because they don't want any of their patients seeing or anything, and then, I don't know, it's,
My client
And
yesterday
everyone
is a
gets
camp
naked.
counselor who also works in HR.
yeah,
It's like, it's the best.
it's the best.
How did you get started doing pole?
Yeah, so I was one of those people that wanted to do pole for a while, right? And I remember I had this coworker that was like, we're going to sign up for pole together. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're going to sign up for pole together. And like, she kept like putting it off. And then randomly, Pole Palace had a Groupon for their Intro to Pole series. And I just did it. And my coworker never signed up. And I remember I was so scared because I was like, I guess I'm just going to do this alone. And I did it. And literally, it's only a 4-week series. After the end of that 4 weeks, I told my partner at the time, who's now I'm married to, but I was like, I literally can't live without this. This is actually the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I feel that feeling. I know that feeling for sure.
Yeah, there's so few things that beat it. But anyway, so I like immediately signed up for the full membership, and that was 5 years ago. About
Wow.
yeah.
I definitely would have thought that you'd been dancing longer than 5 years.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that did not come from a dance background either. I mean, you can spot those people that like come from a dance background and they're really flexible and stuff, and it's really great for them.
Yeah.
But I was not one of those people. I came from like
It's already
volleyball.
time to reset the cameras.
I did it for 20 because I feel like this one sometimes needs a little bit more help.
Okay.
You can finish your sentence though. Go ahead. Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'll reset it.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I came from a background of like volleyball and I did rock climbing, which did kind of help with the shoulder strength.
Yeah.
But I was never a dancer, so that means a lot. For you to say that, I had to work really hard. But it's just so fun. Like they make it easy. It's like, I don't know. I always wanted to be a dancer, and it's so. I was thinking about that this morning and how, as an adult, there are so few ways to become a dancer, right? It's like it's a kid's thing.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if you're so lucky to have like that childhood where you get to be a dancer, then that's great for you. But as an adult, like you're either stuck never being a dancer, not cool, or you are stuck signing up for classes that use the phrase like for adults, right? You know, it's like intro to ballet, like for adults.
Yeah.
To make sure that you're not mixed in with like the 6-year-olds. But pole dance like totally bridges that gap because it's like
Yes.
actually only for adults.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Or it's like the classes where it's like dance and tone, you know, and it's like
Zumba.
you're dancing, but it's more about like getting the workout in,
Yeah.
and so you never quite feel like you're becoming a dancer.
Yeah. I actually did go to a beginner hip hop class a year ago at one of the fun dance studios around here, and I was like, I'll be kind of good at this, right? No, I was so bad, and for like multiple reasons, mostly my fault, of course, but it was labeled as a beginner class, and maybe this choreography was technically for beginners, but like they did not break down these moves for me the way that I needed them broken down. I just remember the instructor like she would show the move, but I was like, I'm not sure what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
It looks really cool on you, but it does not look the same
Yeah.
when I do it.
And then she's like, okay, we're going to run it. And I'm like falling behind everyone. Oh, it was so embarrassing.
I did sign up recently for, I think one thing pole has helped me with is feeling like, okay, I can like try stuff as an adult, you know? And I signed up recently for a heels class that I'm taking next week, which is, it's not like wearing the heels that you wear in pole. It's like heels that are more like little jazz shoes with the heel on them.
They're like flexible in the soles and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Is it dancing like on a chair, like lap dance type of heels, or is it different?
You could
Like,
dance on a chair, but it's like there's kind of a range. It's more like, so you don't have a pole. You don't necessarily have to have a prop. It's more just like learning a kind of like burlesque-ish, sexy-ish, cabaret-ish dance in heels.
Okay.
And I think like the fact that you're wearing heels, I think that the class is always going to be like a little bit more of like a sexy jazz class than like a regular dance class.
Yeah.
But I say that and I haven't gone to one, so like I could be wrong. This is like my interpretation of it based on what I've seen.
Okay.
It's probably going to be really fucking hard, is my guess.
Yeah, your calves are probably going to be on fire afterwards.
Yeah. But I went to a cabaret show and they were all dancing in heels. I went with one of my friends from Pole Palace, and we both were like, we got to try that. So we signed up for a class. I don't know where I was going with that, but
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear about that. That's going to be fun.
Like, what are you
Yeah.
going to do with your arms? You know, it's like at pole.
I
Like,
know.
at least I have this pole.
exactly.
Like jazz
it's like
Yeah, do some jazz hands.
just be like this the whole
Yeah.
time.
The
You have
most-
to like think more.
Yeah, probably. Because you don't have a prop to like hide, like, I feel like you could, you can rely on the prop more when there is a prop.
It's just like with pole, if you're doing like a freestyle or something, it's like you can always just kind of walk around the pole. You know, you can
Sure
always
can.
like caress the pole. You can always do body waves on the pole. Like there's a lot of things you can always do without really doing anything. But without a pole, you're sort of like, I have to be really dancing here.
It's true.
But you have a dance background.
I do. Yeah.
So you're going to crush it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I do not have a dance background, and my husband and I did salsa classes a few years ago together, which
Oh my God,
was
cute.
super fun, but very humbling too. Like it was, really just really starting from square one and learning the basics. And a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, yeah.
But then like the pandemic hit, so we didn't stick with it. Because
Do
we
you guys
started
have
it.
any videos of yourselves doing it? I want to see.
I think I might. One thing that was really funny is like, so we started doing it, I think it was like a month or two before like March 2020. And so then the pandemic hit and they started offering them like on Zoom. So you could still do it, but you're just like doing it over Zoom. So we did a couple that way. But one of them, we like accidentally signed up for the next level up. And the teachers like really wanted you to like you had to have your camera on. You had to like, you know, have it pointed. They have to see everything. So they're like trying to coach you. And they were trying to be really nice to us because they could tell we like accidentally signed up for this. And it was just like, we had at one point at the end, they made everybody like go like take turns basically. So they could like watch each person. And that was awful.
Humbling.
It was really, really scary.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've never signed up for the wrong level pole class, but I will say I have been doing it for almost 2 years now, and I'm still only in level 1.5, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like I still learn stuff every time, and I still like. I mean, there's people that I started with who are further along, like they're in level 2 now, because they're more consistent with going to class than I am, but. Just like to like what Sid was saying earlier about like how you don't have to like, you know, you can move slowly and that's okay. That's definitely been my experience.
Well, also like not just focusing on just pole tricks, like 'cause
Yeah.
you are big like going to the dance class.
Yeah, I love the dance classes.
And that's great. Like no, if you never wanted to like leave level 1.5, you don't have to, and you'll still learn new stuff every time, and you'll still like dance and get an amazing workout.
Are there
exactly.
different classes just for learning like tricks?
Mhm.
That's cool.
So when Taylor says 1.5, it's like you're going there to learn like pole tricks, quote unquote, like different like shapes, spins, like climbing the pole and stuff. But then there's other classes that are just dancing, and you'll have an instructor that has like already made a combo, choreography, and you learn it from them, and then you run it to music. And it doesn't usually ever involve like tricks and stuff. It's just like floor work or dancing around the pole, and those are a fucking blast.
It's so fun. Those are mostly the ones oh, you can swear.
Okay.
Those are mostly the ones that I post videos of.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm better at that than I am at the pole tricks. So I'm like, yeah, I want to share this.
And like in a lot of ways, those are like the funnest classes. I think. I avoided those for a long time because I did not come from a dance background. And I was, by the time that I started going and they were actually the funnest class, I was mad at myself for avoiding them for so long.
Yeah. And now you teach them.
And yeah. Well, not right now, but yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool. But yeah, that's mostly what you see me do is like choreography. The tricks, it's like harder for me to get excited about or as excited about, but it's also like really cool when you get something that you've been like practicing for a long time and you know, it finally like clicks. And I don't know. I mean, okay, this brings me to another question is that like, I feel like there are a lot of people who are worried about being too big for pole dancing. Mm-hmm. That's something I hear a lot. You know, similar to like the not strong enough. It's like another, like my body isn't the right body for this. But like what other, I don't know, like things do you hear that you feel like, what other tips do you have for people to just like take the leap and get started, or maybe to like build confidence if they've started but they're not feeling like they're like learning much or progressing as fast as they want to?
Yeah, this is like the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Because I come from a place of like very like skinny privilege, and I know that, and so like my advice is just like keep coming, which is like not good enough. I very much know that's not good enough. But also to like make sure that you find a studio that you feel like appreciates you and includes you and can accommodate things for all body types, because in reality pole dancing is for every body. And if you're at a place that can't accommodate that, or you don't feel included at, then you should go somewhere else.
Yeah.
There are several pole dancers, like the most incredible pole dancers ever that I follow, that do live in a bigger body, and they're like a million fucking times stronger than me. And I can totally like plug a couple of them. I'll have to check.
Yeah,
them
send
out.
us the
They're
links.
so
We'll-
amazing.
We'll
Yeah,
put them
okay.
in the episode description. But that's so true because like I think it's really powerful to see other bodies than what you're used to doing pole. I follow a couple people on TikTok who are like curvier who do pole dance. And I've also seen that there are people who they'll do like pole dance classes specifically for like bigger bodies or bigger chests, and they'll show you like
Yes.
modifications you can do to like accommodate whatever it is that maybe like your regular teacher isn't doing because they don't have like a bigger chest or whatever it is. There's a lot of people doing like cool inclusive pole dancing stuff.
Yeah, and I know as far as Portland goes, I think Aerospace, which is a pole studio here, hosted a class like that not that long ago, which is great. I live in a society that I have the privilege of being like very thin. I also do not have a chest. So it is like sometimes there are moves that I don't even think about as like needing to be modified for people that like have more breast tissue than I do, and it's always a learning opportunity that I don't know, it's just like a space where I can take that knowledge and try to come up with accommodations or even learn from my students that have figured out accommodations themselves, which is unfortunate that they have to do that. But, yeah.
I do remember one of the teachers, Jessica, took that class that was like specifically for modifying with like for people that have bigger chests, and she was like throwing out all these modifications like after she came back from that class, and it was just cool to see like, you know, that I hadn't been to a class yet where someone had talked about something like that, and it really made me realize like, okay, maybe it's okay if I can't grab my leg with my arm from this one twisted back position because my arm is shorter than someone else's arm. You know, it just like starts to make you think, like realize that like, you know, everybody's just going to be different because our bodies are all different.
Yeah, and it's totally the case with all different kinds of bodies that there are just some moves that I will never do, and I'm just fine with that.
Yeah.
However, there are definitely most moves can be accommodated to be on every different body, and yeah, if that's not happening at the studio that someone's at, then that's not okay.
I'll also say, as someone with like thick thighs, there are things that when I learned them in pole felt really easy for me because I have a lot of like fat on my legs to like grab onto the pole with, that I saw being hard for other people who were thinner than me. So there's also like sometimes something that you think might be a disadvantage maybe makes it easier to do a certain move.
That's so true.
You know,
Yeah.
or like my thighs touch when my legs are straight. So it's like they're gripping the pole. Whereas some people, you have to like, if you're thinner, you have to like cross your legs more or whatever. So there's like, you know, sometimes there's advantages too. You have to try it. You have to just like try it and find out, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Also, Kira, our model friend, she posts a ton of her like pole practice videos like the same way that you do, and I love watching her pole videos too because she talks a lot about just like having not your standard typical body that you typically see doing pole dancing, and will like go in deep dives on it on her Instagram.
Yeah. Kira's so cool. She told me that if we get a pole in the studio, she would teach me poses for the pole that work for people who have never been on a pole before, so that we could like offer pole shoots for anybody.
That would be incredible, and she's such a good model. We're
Yeah.
obsessed with her. We'll link her Instagram here. Everyone should be following.
We need to
Kira.
bring her on the pod. She also
I
told me
mean-
she only reads romance novels with plus size main characters. Like she's so
Iconic.
cool. I love her. Anyway. Okay, I was also really curious about this. When I found, it's like what we were talking about earlier, where it's always funny to find out what people do for work. But for some reason, when like at some point I started following you on Instagram, and at some point I saw that you were going to med school, and I was like, that's crazy. My pole teacher goes to med school. And I don't know why, because it's like, why can't you be in med school and also teach pole? But for some reason, it's like, I would never have guessed that. But I just would love to know, like, what is that like? Like, do you talk about it with like other people you're in med school with, or like, is med school not as stuffy as maybe I think it is?
Yeah, that's a great question. So cut to back when I was like applying to med school. So I'm a second year right now. So I started pole dancing before I got into med school. Because people are like, I do not see how you have time to have a hobby.
Yeah.
So I feel very fortunate I just make time for the things that are important, I guess.
Yeah.
I need
Do
to
you
take a
work
lesson out of that
outside of pole, or is it you do school and you do pole? Okay, I was gonna say like that would be.
You sound like my mom. My mom's like, can't you just get a job also? I'm like, literally no.
Yeah.
No, there's not enough time.
No, I barely have time. Like, I do not feed my dogs anymore. Like, my partner is responsible for feeding the dogs.
I was like, wait, who is feeding your dog?
They're
What's
getting
going on
fed.
Yeah.
with the
They're
dogs?
getting fed, but that's just like it's a metaphor, but it's real
Yeah.
for like how little I do.
Yeah.
That's not school now. Like
Mm-hmm.
he goes out of town every once in a while for work, and I am absolutely helpless.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine doing med school without a supportive partner? Like, that's probably a requirement. You have to have a
Yeah.
partner who's gonna just, be okay
Yeah.
with doing everything for a few years.
Right. So there's two routes here. It's like either if I was single right now, well, I wouldn't have two dogs. That would be really tough. If I was single right now, I would just I'd probably have a really overpriced apartment like right next to campus and be taking out even more loans, which is fine. Honestly, money is not real to me anymore.
I respect that.
Yeah. So, and then but then it's cool because you qualify for things like OHP and reduced electricity bills and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Or then you have the other side where I have the benefit of having this incredibly supportive partner who makes my lunches and takes care of the entire house, but I don't get OHP and
Yeah.
I don't get reduced electricity or Wi-Fi or whatever. And I live really far away from campus. But anyways.
Yeah, it's rough either way.
I know. Yeah. Money's still not real to me, but the money I do get some money because he has a job.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so there's that.
I feel like after student loans, money is not real. I'm
No, it's
still
definitely not
waiting
real.
for mine to be forgiven. I
Me
know
too.
someday they will be.
Someday.
Someday.
Yeah.
I have faith.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
they're
get
not
there.
getting that money from me.
No.
It's an inhuman amount of money at this point.
Yeah, it's not real. Just never give them your routing and account number. That's how they get you. Last month, I just had a student loan payment just disappear out of my account because they still had my routing and account number from 4 years ago.
They just stole it?
Well,
Stalkers.
you have to pay your student loan payments again now.
I know, but
They just took
They
it.
They didn't even ask.
Yeah, they didn't even
Wow.
ask. It just disappeared out of my account, and now it's
Wow.
every month.
That's funny. That happened to my partner too, and he goes, "Oh my god, I overdrafted on this account that I thought was closed,
Yeah,
but it wasn't."
yikes.
They will hunt you down.
It's insane that they'll do that, but then
Harassment.
tax season comes around and they can't just tell me how much I owe them, right?
I mean, it's
Like, they
there's
know.
so many things. You guys, it's so depressing. I actually saw a TikTok yesterday with these two women who are running for president and vice president on a third party ticket, and I was like, maybe this is the year that I vote for the third party.
Wait, here in America they're doing that?
Yeah,
Really?
Wow.
I'll find the TikTok. I'll
Yeah,
send it to you
send
guys.
We
it.
need ranked choice voting.
Yeah, I know. Something has to change in this hellhole. Okay, on that note,
Yeah, how are you gonna segue this one?
well, okay, so we're talking about hellhole. We're talking about, one thing that I think can feel tricky when you're trying to live, this empowered feminist existence and doing pole is feeling is this feeding into the male gaze when I'm doing these ass shaking moves? Am I male gazing myself when I watch my video and I'm like, yeah, I'm hot, and you are queer, and I would love to know how that has factored into your interpretation of this whole male gazy part of pole, but also just doing pole in general,
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's, at least I personally don't feel like I'm feeding into the male gaze.
Yeah.
Well, mostly because I feel like I'm doing pole strictly for myself. And yes, I do love to post my videos, but
Yeah.
it's mostly I'm showing off, I guess.
Yeah.
And if some males happen to look at it,
It's their lucky
then
day.
that's, yeah, then
I mean, the males are always
They get
looking.
it.
Let's be
They're always
honest. They're
looking.
always looking.
that is true. But anyways, one of the things that I think people aren't expecting about pole, at least that I wasn't really expecting about pole, is, and again, maybe this is a Portland thing. Everyone's gay.
Yeah.
So actually over the weekend at that performance, one of my friends came, and she's like super queer, and she's a hairdresser and does like the gayest haircuts. You like it, you know, if you ever need like a super like cool mullet, like shaggy mullet, like she's got you.
Okay.
And she knew like multiple people that were there to watch the Pole Palace showcase.
Really?
Yeah, and
I love that.
and she like either they came to like get their haircut from her, or like she knew them from some other like just gay stuff.
Yeah.
And I loved it because I was like, I don't think people realize like how queer this community is.
That's true. That is a really good point.
And you
feel
don't
like
have to
everyone
be
is.
queer.
Yeah.
Let's get that straight. But it is like an extremely accepting environment. And I remember several months ago, so my friend who cuts hair, she cut my hair off. And I loved my haircut, but I was also very nervous to go to school with that because I was the only like femme in my class that was going to have like a not feminine haircut.
Yeah.
But I was so stoked to take it to the Pole Palace.
Yeah.
I was like, these people will appreciate this haircut. And I got so
They'll
many
get
compliments.
it. Yeah. That's the place where you can be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like fully. But yeah, back to the male gaze. I don't know. Is that something we'll ever escape?
No.
You know,
it's
I
always
don't-
there.
I don't even think it's possible to even know if like something that you're actually enjoying because you enjoy it, or you're enjoying it because the male gaze has like conditioned you to enjoy
I
it. You know,
know.
I think about that all the time when I think of certain like poses I like or photos of myself
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's like we've just always lived with it, so we can't even know
You can't
how impacted
separate it.
we
Yeah.
are.
It's so true. But like even if I'm not recording, if I go to the studio and I'm just hanging out and dancing with my friends, like it's really fun to tap into my sexuality, to tap into like feel sexy even when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. And to feel like powerful and like also one thing I really love about it is like it's literally the only time that I do not think about like my to-do list and like everything else. It's like the only time my mind shuts off ever in the day.
Which is important.
Yeah.
Because Taylor will be texting me back at the gym, and I'm just like, you don't have to respond to me right now. And she's like, hold on, I'm between sets. I'm like, it's fine.
The gym is for texting.
It is.
Sorry.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do in between your sets?
Yeah.
Like
Clear your mind.
I'm
Don't-
texting or I'm watching TikToks. It's one or the other.
So, oh my gosh, I was going to say something about back to the male gaze. Oh my god, it was going to be so good. Hang on.
Something about how we can't separate ourselves.
It'll come back to me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, when it comes back, just
blurt
just
it out.
interrupt it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say though, we have a photographer friend who lives in Arizona, and she has been doing pole for a while too.
Oh my god.
No, tell me, what is it?
Yeah, what
I
is
came
it?
back. Tell us.
Okay, what I was gonna say is back to the male gaze. There is like, I don't know, maybe this is my experience anyways, is like I am so scary to men. And I think a lot of that has come from pole.
Uh-huh.
It's like I am not only like strong and like very confident in the way that I move and the way that I hold myself, in part due to pole, that I am terrifying to men now, and I love it. Do you ever get told you're intimidating thing all the time?
I love that.
It's
There's
my favorite.
nothing better.
I love that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
When I'm this is silly, but when I'm at the gym and I'm lifting weights, I think about all the like the strong female characters in my like fantasy books that I read that like fight their wars or whatever, and they like defeat the evil bad guy, and I'm like, I'm training to be like her.
I love that.
You know, 'cause it's like I want to like be able to take over the world. I don't know. It's like not quite the same as being intimidating from pole, but just while we're on the topic of the gym.
But you're doing both, you know? It's
I'm
like
doing
you're doing
both,
that,
yeah.
and then you're also going to pole.
Yeah, you gotta, these are the things that we do
To be scary.
take back our power.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a guy telling you that you're intimidating, that's like the best compliment. 'Cause
It
you're
really
like,
It
"Good,
is.
Go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It is. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I do think that like the longer I've done pole, the more it feels like I'm doing it for myself. Like not that it felt like I was doing it for anyone else when I first started, but like I said, I had that fear about posting videos and what people would think and how they would perceive me. But it really like the more I've done it, the more comfortable I am with feeling, I don't know, feeling good about myself. That it's okay to just do that, for me because it's fun and it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
also easier now to, well, okay. my partner's kind of always been this way, but like anytime I'm like, do you want to watch what I did at pole tonight? He's like, sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Same.
it's like there's no excitement at all.
Yeah. My husband is the same way. He's like, sure. But it's not like, he's not getting the same thing out of it that I am.
I'm kind of surprised that he's not like, this is so hot, because you look so good.
I mean, he likes it. He'll be like, good job. Like, you know, you did that move really good or whatever. And he'll notice when I'm like doing the same thing over and over again, I've gotten better at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not like getting him off, you know?
Yeah.
He's not like, oh yeah, my stripper wife, you know? Like, he doesn't have this like fantasy about me doing pole. It's like he, you know, he's happy for me that I'm getting so much out of it.